Hey guys, Pablo with BND and a veteran's point of view, and today we're going to be taking a look at the most underrated movies that you should watch before you die. In this video, we'll not cover movies like Shawshank Redemption, Office Space, The Thing, between others, that actually became really big movies after their home release, but they are flops in the box office. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe and hit that notifications button, and don't forget to leave a comment in the end of the video. Number 9. Things to do in Denver when you're dead. So,
hey, did I ever tell you about Jimmy the Saint?
Jimmy the Saint was a good man.
You're different, Jimmy. You got decency.
Who left behind a bad world.
You glide.
I glide?
You glide. It's a very attractive quality. You're a thing to be.
This movie came out in 1995. It had a budget of $8 million, but only made about $529,000 in the box office. Not even count the cast that has Andy Garcia, Christopher Lloyd, William Forsythe, Gabrielle Anwar. I mean, the movie is great. It's about an ex-gangster, Jim the Saint, trying to go clean and having to be called to do a last hit to be able to pay his debt back. And, you know, like in movies like this, everything goes wrong. And in the end, all his friends start getting killed and he only has 48 hours to live. And what are you doing this time? You get payback. You get payback for your friends. And so that movie is not only about gangsters and violence and all those things, it's also about friendship. So why you should watch that movie? Because it's a great movie. Now, if you don't like swearing movies, you probably should stay away from that. I probably learned a lot of swear words on that movie. But if that doesn't bother you, just go watch the movie.
I met someone. I don't want her hurt.
Didn't you learn nothing from me?
We don't stand up for each other, we're gone!
Monteros brothers out of Albuquerque have been called in.
Party!
Andy Garcia, Christopher Lloyd, Treat Williams, William Forsythe, Gabrielle Anwar, Bill Nunn, Jack Warden, Fairuza Balk, and Christopher Walken.
You know I could look at you forever. I wouldn't have to do anything else.
Things to do in Denver when you're dead.
Number 8. Waking Ned Devine.
Has the news reached Tully Moore?
Nobody knows but the winner.
Ned Devine.
Is there a greater twist of fate, winning, and the next minute die from the shock of it?
Alright, so this movie was not a flop in the box office. The budget for that movie was $3 million, and they actually made $55 million in the box office. Now, the thing with that movie is a lot of European movies, and most of the ones that came out in 1998 and during this era, is they end up not being very well known by the US market because no, internet wasn't as well known and we didn't have YouTube. So that's a movie about best friends sticking together and trying to better their lives, you know, getting back with the village, everybody joining in to be able to improve their lives. It's a great comedy, and if you guys like any type of British comedy, it's just amazing. That's probably one of the best foreign movies I've ever watched in my life, and that's why you guys should watch it.
Big win, is it?
6 million. 894,620 pounds. How does that make you feel?
To Ned Devine.
To Ned.
Waking Ned Devine.
Number 7. Existence. So before there was Ready Player One, there was that movie called Existence. The problem that movie had was it had a budget of about $50 million, but it made barely $3 million back in the box office. The story is very close to Ready Player One, the sense of it's a game console that, you know, you kind of fully interact to pretty much get into the game. It was released during the time The Matrix was coming out, so it kind of took some of the flair of the movie. But one of the things I love about The Existence is it's really the feel, by the end of the movie, that you cannot tell what is real and what is not. And because of that, I think you should watch that movie. Number 6. Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
jeez, whoa, Jesus.
Did you see the way those guys looked at us?
Who wants to go skinny dipping?
No.
We got your friend!
They captured Allison.
All right, so a couple of things about this movie. It had a budget of $5 million and a box office of $4.7 million. Now, this movie actually won a few awards and was nominated to a lot of other, not big awards, but still. The funny thing about this movie is that 83% of critics gave the film a positive review. It is a great horror comedy. It may get to the point that it's a little goofy, but it's the kind of movie that you watch when maybe your day in the office was the greatest, and yeah, it's gonna make you feel better. It's also about, you can't really judge a book by its cover, because sometimes the people that look like the mass murderers are actually the nice guys, and the nice guys are actually the crazy ones. So it is a great movie. It's also a movie about friendship and doing the right thing, and not getting killed by crazy college kids that keep killing themselves. So why you should watch? Because we all need to laugh at some point.
The girl that we have, she can maybe explain the whole thing.
You've got another one inside.
Yeah, she's in my bedroom. Heads up. Oh, you gotta take the safety off on the side there.
Don't do that.
Start being more careful.
Time to die, freak.
Fire! Stop, double roll. No, don't use that.
Number 5, Clue, the movie.
Every person in this room has the perfect motive.
Stand back!
For murder.
What do you mean? Murder.
But only one of these suspects is the murderer.
All right, so the major thing about Clue. So Clue is very loosely based on the Clue game. It had a budget of $50 million. It made back about $14.6 million. What didn't cover even the cost. It is a movie that in a sense has 3 endings, what made it very interesting, at least for me. And this is a 1985 movie. I would say it may not be for everyone. It's a movie that, in my opinion, aged really, really well. And it's just a hilarious movie. You should not try to make sense of movies like this. You should just sit down, enjoy. And yeah, it's a very good movie and pleasant to watch, and that's one of the movies that you should watch before you die.
This is getting quite serious.
And madness. In the movie that makes a scene of the crime. Clue. It's not just a game anymore.
Number 4, Idiocracy.
At the dawn of the 21st century, the Army began a top-secret experiment.
I know. If you live south of West Virginia, you're probably gonna hate that movie. But if you're a Yankee like me, you're probably gonna love that movie. The movie had a great cast. It was just a fun movie to watch. And it had a budget of $2 to $4 million, but it only made about 500,000 worldwide. That movie, even being a comedy, it's the type of movie that shows where we're going as a human race. And yes, it's a little bit exaggerated. Actually, it's a lot exaggerated. But I feel it does make its point. I know that movie found its niche later on, years later. And still, even if that movie didn't make the money back, it's one of those movies where even critics gave positive reviews, and people really hoped the movie was going to do better than it did. And one of the things that showed that it's a great movie is when it finally came out on home media, it actually made about $9 million on DVD rentals, what was over 20 times its gross domestic box office. So why you should watch? I don't know. but you should anyway.
Got this guy. He's gonna fix everything. So you smart, huh?
The ordinary will be considered extraordinary.
I thought your head would be bigger.
Idiocracy.
For the smartest guy in the world, you're pretty dumb sometimes.
Number 3, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. I know what you guys thinking. This movie had a $90 million budget and actually made $188 million, so it's not a flop, and also should not be fully considered an underrated movie. Now, why is that movie in this list? The Secret Life of Walter Mitty is the type of movie that a lot of people watched, but the moment it passed, it has not seen the light of day since. Now, why does this movie matter? Well, first of all, a lot of people don't know that it's actually a remake of a 1947 movie. Understands a very loosely remake of that 1947 movie. But the storyline was perfectly made, in my opinion. The other thing about the movie, in my opinion, is that it reminds people that a lot of times we let life take over and we really just sit down in one place and let our lives go by. It's a movie about not just dreaming, but fighting to realize every single dream you have. For me, it's one of the best feel-good movies out there, and it's a movie that if you ever feel lost in life, you should watch, because it may just give you the push you need to move on with your life. And that's why you should watch that movie before you die.
I'll take the red one.
Number 2, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Arthur,
What if I told you I was from another planet?
What the hell are those things? Attention, people of Earth. I regret to inform you that in order to make way for the new hyperspace express route, your planet has been scheduled for demolition. Have a nice day.
Hang on, we're hitching a ride.
So, this movie, like the last one, it had a budget of about $45 to $50 million. It did make its money back. It actually made a total of $104 million back. But that was a movie that really came out with some mixed reviews, and it was almost supposed to have a sequel. And why do I know that? Because I actually read the books. I feel a lot of people that actually read the books and watched the movie may have been a little upset because they kind of moved around the chapters of the book and some of the books as well. But it's a great movie. And to be honest, if they had followed exactly the book by chapter by chapter by chapter, it would have been a very boring movie. I actually think Hollywood did a great movie on how they structured the movie and the story. And I feel one of the problems that movie had was the people that had never read the book or watched the old BBC series. I don't think they actually got it, and they thought it was a little bit too much and the story wasn't as funny. But for me that actually read the book, I could not stop laughing the whole movie. And that's why that's one of the movies you should watch before you die. But honestly, I would read at least the first book before you watch the movie. You're gonna have a much better experience. Number 1, Mr. Nobody.
Can you tell me how old you are?
Oh, I'm 34. I was born February 9th, 1975.
Who are you?
I'm Mr. Nobody, a man who doesn't exist.
I don't even know how to start with that movie. So, the budget of that movie was 33 million euros. The movie only made back about 3.5 million, and in the US it was about 3.6 thousand on the box office. Now, what I can say about that movie is, if you ever had that movie that you had to watch twice to understand the movie, okay, multiply that by 5, and you're gonna have Mr. Nobody. So why does that happen? When you start watching the movie, it may not make a lot of sense, and it may even feel a little frustrating while you're watching that until you get to about the end of the movie and you completely get what is going on, and you just hit rewind and rewatch the movie because now you get the plot and now you have to watch it again, paying attention in every single thing that the movie is telling you. And the best thing about that movie is nowadays everybody complains of how the movies give you the plot, maybe in the beginning, maybe in the middle, and you already know what's going on. That movie doesn't do that. It's a movie that shows that everything, every single action you do in your life will affect everything around you. And that's why that's the best movie, that's the top movie that you should watch before you die. Guys, thank you very much for got to the end of this video. Just remember, I'm not a movie critic. Those movies for me, they really have like a soft spot in my heart, and there are good reasons for that. I really would like to get a little bit more into the movies, but those are kind of movies that anything I say really gonna give the plot away and really gonna spoil for people that want to watch a good movie. You know, in my opinion, just try one of them out. A lot of times you're at home, don't have anything to do, you've seen every single movie on Netflix, so give it a try to one of them. Again, guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel, leave a thumbs up or down, and give me a comment. And don't forget, we're still running the 10,000 subscriber giveaway. It's going to be 5 gift certificates of $30 each, and depending on the revenue I get to when I get to 10,000 subscribers, I may be running also a PS4 or an Xbox One. So you guys have a great weekend. I'm sorry for the delay in the video, and I'll see you guys on Monday.